Hi, happy holidays to everyone. I'm Lauren Collins. I'm a physical therapist who specializes in pelvic health. And so I'm coming to you this week to talk about our next topic. So it's the holidays and everyone is super excited and trying to get all the food in. Well, what happens around this time of year, well, any time of year for a lot of people, is that certain foods can really irritate your pelvic diaphragm, your pelvis, or I should say they irritate the bladder and the rectum, which can cause spasming of those pelvic diaphragm muscles. So we are going to talk about certain foods to avoid and how to poop. Did you know that there is a correct way to poop? There is. So here we go. So the first thing I want to talk about are the bladder irritants. There are several ones that if you are a person who has issues around a bladder pain or bowel issues, you might want to avoid, especially this time of year. Champagne is one that tends to be really bad for those people who have bladder irritant issues. It's high in acids and the alcohol. Both of those things aren't good. So try to avoid that. Also, alcohol in general for people who have bladder issues or in a flare-up is going to be a thing you want to avoid right now as well. Caffeine is a bladder irritant, as well as citrus, spicy, curry. All those things are bladder irritants. Smoking is a bladder irritant. People say cranberry is good for bladders. Cranberry is high in acid and can be bad for people who have bladder issues. So you'll want to avoid those as well. Did I already say citrus? Citrus is one. So orange juice, grapefruit, those things can be potentially irritable or irritating to the bladder. So you'll want to avoid those things. So we're starting with, teas. I know even the decaffeinated teas, because caffeine's a bladder irritant, teas can be irritating just because of something called tannins in them. Even if they are considered decaffeinated teas, you'll want to be mindful of that. Chocolate can be a bladder irritant as well. So there's just a few of those. If you look on the website, I'll post it down below, for the Interstitial Cystitis Network. It will give you a full list of things to avoid to keep your bladders nice and healthy and happy and avoid all of that irritation. So once you get all this food, you got to be able to get it out, right? So we're going to try to avoid some constipation going on this time of the year as well. Well, any time of the year, like I said before, but we're focusing on it right now because everyone's trying to get it all in. So I'm going to show you how to poop properly. I'm going to move my chair out of the way again, and we're going to go from here. Okay, so I'm going to sit up here, moving my model over. I'm pulling a stool over. You can't see the stool. I'm pulling a stool over. So I'm sitting on top of the table here, my mat, and I have my feet elevated on the stool. Now you can see my knees are sitting higher than my hips. So if I turn sideways, just so you can see a little bit better, right? Here's my hips, here's my knees, one's higher. When you're sitting on your commode at home, that is what you want to do. You want to have your knees up higher than your hips. So if at home you have a stool in your bathroom, that would be perfect to use. If you have some old phone books, I don't even know if they make phone books anymore, but if you have old phone books, you can wrap them up with duct tape and you can use those. Or they actually have something called the Squatty Potty. And if you go on their website, squattypotty.com, you can order a Squatty Potty from there. And those are convenient in that they can wrap around the bottom of your commode and you can push them out of the way. So anyways, once you get in this position and you have your knees up, you're going to lean forward with your elbows on top of your thighs. Okay? Now what you're going to do is you're going to take a deep breath and you're going to inhale through your nose and you're going to let your belly get big. So go ahead and inhale. Your belly's getting big, my belly's rising. And then you're going to exhale and you're going to make a huh sound or a grunting noise as you gently pull your belly in and gently bear down to go ahead and defecate. Now what you want to do too is make sure that you let those rectal muscles do what they're supposed to do before you try and override them with a strong push. Our muscles and our rectum are made to be able to squeeze stool out. So don't just try and force over that innate rectal function, okay? Let it do its thing and then you assist. So again, knees up, leaning forward, forearms on your thighs. Deep breath, inhale, belly rises. Exhale, make a huh or a grunting noise as you gently bear down to release the stool. I stress gently, and I stress the breathing, or gently in terms of not holding your breath. That is something called a Valsalva, and that's putting a lot of strain and stress on your pelvic diaphragm muscles when you do that. So you'll want to avoid doing that. Okay, I'm going to come down here. Move this over to the side. I'm bringing my chair back over. So this holiday season and any other day of the year, let's not get stopped up. Okay? When you do that, you help open up something called the anal rectal angle. Allows everything to come out a little bit easier and better. In some countries, they actually squat on the ground to go ahead and defecate, which is an ideal position. Now, as ideal as that is, I kind of like still having a commode. I just raise my knees up. So I want everyone to have a healthy, happy, blessed, prosperous holiday, and I will talk to you next week. Bye. See you later.